must come out. Or should I keep it?
It was like yesterday. I felt you kicking in my womb. Every mother knows what that feels like. But can I raise this child?
You fit it right in the palm of my hands. Your heart is my heart. But why raise a child so young? Don't throw your life away.
She's on birth control, right? Abortion is indeed a man's business. Isn't it important what I think? Does my vote not count as well?
Who is that guy anyway? Does he have a say in the matter?
No way. Guys never have anything to say when it comes to that.
I say the upbringing wasn't quite right. And of course, the father is unknown.
For real? What do those young girls know? They're acting stupid.
Keep abortion safe and legal.
Pro-life! Pro-life!
Get out!
The project is to give a podium to women who fight for their freedom. And it started in 2020, I think. There were Polish women in Poland who had to fight for their rights because they wanted to ban abortion in Poland. So women in Poland and also many men went to the streets to protest against the ban of abortion. But it didn't help. It didn't help in Poland, and I think it's very important for women to have a choice, to have the freedom to decide about their body, their life, whether they want or not want to have children, and this is fundamental right.
Welcome in the European Parliament. My name is Vera Tax, and I'm so lucky to have the opportunity to host you all here, and especially the play that has its premiere tonight, and especially written also for this theme. We are here because the world is getting more and more polarized. We need to have good debates with each other, a good change of mind, of thoughts, and that's why this event is tonight happening here. Because we also see that anti-gender movements are getting more and more vocal. We see it in Poland, in the European Union, we see it in the United States of America. The right to have safe and legal abortion is taken away. And that has a devastating effect on women.
As Social Democrats, we fight for those rights, but it's going in a slowly pace. And I think it's really important. What we need is more people who are being vocal on this topic, and to have solidarity with women in Poland or other places in Europe where it's difficult. Because only if we are vocal, then we can be heard. And it is sometimes difficult to be vocal on this topic because it is such a personal matter. And it is important that women, that people can make the choices they really as an individual want to take.
We do have a choice to make. A set of terrible options. Keep the child and end up losing your parents and your boyfriend, or have the child taken away and regret it so much that you still might end up losing them because you cannot forgive them.
Yes, conscious, it's easy for you to talk, but in retrospect, everything is simple. I want you to help me instead of blaming what I can't handle and presenting me with choices I could possibly make.
As far as the theater part, the art part goes, I think it's super important. If you look at the history of abortion rights, for example, in Portugal, you see that Paula Rego's portraits, she's a painter, beautiful. She made really, not beautiful, but appealing portraits of women that undergo illegal abortions. And this work has been said to be so important in the legalization and the liberalization of abortion laws in Portugal. So I think art can play a huge role, yes.
Julie is acting a bit strange lately. Yeah, I saw her at the drugstore the other day and she was doing very secretive. Yeah, I think she was buying a test or something. She never saw me, but she looked pretty troubled.
Julie? Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah.
I thought she was some kind of Mother Teresa.
She wants to keep the child?
She shouldn't. No, she's throwing a life away. She should put herself first.
I mean, yeah, she should put herself first, but maybe an abortion. Or if she wants to keep the child, you can always study later, or maybe Kenny will help her. Does he have a say in the matter, you think?
No way. Guys never have anything to say when it comes to that. And how can we do what we spoke of if she were pregnant with a child? We're 19. We should be enjoying life.
Yeah. I mean, we should be supportive, right?
Well, okay, but I'm not babysitting. Never.
We know that Europe is a hell, still a hell for millions of girls and women who do not have access to these fundamental human rights. We also hear the stories of girls. And me and Vera, we recently were discussing it at a committee meeting of girls, de facto children, raped by Russian soldiers in Ukraine, coming to Europe, seeking for a shelter, for a safe place, finding out that they cannot terminate their pregnancy because in Poland it's illegal. This is the reality in today's Europe. And I'm saying it's not only about Poland. There are attempts to limit right to abortion in many parts of Europe and around the world.
Abortion stigma is such an important subject. Just 2 weeks ago, another person in Poland has died because of septic shock, because of the abortion stigma and how it influences the society, how it influences the medical staff back in Poland, how this fetus mania is taking over the politics, but also the medical care. So it's very important for us to be able to speak normally about abortion, show that abortion is part of life, it's part of life experience of many, many people.
Julie, pregnant? Shit, that wasn't supposed to happen. However, I think I'm quite happy about it. Yeah, I think it would be fun to be a young father. It's not exactly how I pictured my life to be, but, you know, with a child we'll be connected forever. And I think she's the best thing that ever happened to me. Of course I'm going to help her. But how? It's quite a responsibility. Oh, and speaking of life, her father wants her to have an abortion. Don't I have something to say about that? I read on the internet about how men feel on these things. Wait, I have it saved somewhere. A woman has the right to self-determination. She carries the child and has to endure the pregnancy. So she decides what happens to the child. But what rights does the father have without undermining the mother's right to self-determination? Right to self-determination? What does that even mean? Do I also have a right to self-determination? Do I mainly have a moral obligation? Am I even responsible?
So, do we think that men should be involved in abortion policy making? Who am I going to ask this question to? Jens, what do you think?
Basically, principally, I think men shouldn't have a say about women's bodies. I think men should take much more responsibility for contraception and for safe sex in general. And we know that men are declining from that very much, and that it's still left to women, and that men just don't take the responsibility. So I think it would maybe be good for those men who want to get involved to make good policy on this.
I think, in ideal situation, you want to have a partner with whom you kind of have the same view of reproduction. So you would want to have a partner that also supports your decision on abortion or on continuation of your pregnancy. We do still see many cases where men are, it's not that they're not supportive, but they actively stopping people from getting abortion. So coming back to the Polish context, just a few months ago, my friend activist has been sentenced to 8 months of community works for helping someone access abortion. That person was in domestic abuse situation. She knew she doesn't want to continue her pregnancy, and her partner, abusive partner, called police on her. The police took away her abortion pills, and the person finally had abortion in a very unsafe situation.
Pro-life! Protect the unborn child! Abortion. That's not what God intended.
I think we see that there is a big conservative force and there's a conservative wind blowing through Europe. I think that is concerning.
You could see in the United States how quickly changes can happen, how fragile abortion access can be.
They are really conservative, sometimes religious groups, sometimes they are political groups, but they are being better organized and also better working together. And they have a goal, and their goal is to diminish the rights of women to choose for safe and legal abortions. Also, they want other rights to diminish, like for instance, LGBTE rights, everything that's not heteronormative or patriarchal.
To be honest, we are preparing for more negative changes in Europe as well. The European abortion landscape is already quite complex, but we are fearing for our friends in Romania, in Hungary, Italian people.
And we have to make sure that they will not succeed.
Did you hear about the girl next door from the Taylor family?
No. What about her?
Apparently, she is pregnant.
No way. She's so young.
How old do you think she is?
Well, I think 17 or 18. I don't know. But she's a student.
I heard that no one knows who the father is.
What a slut!
How awful for those parents! A pregnant teenage daughter.
Yes, they really can't show up anywhere anymore. It's their fault.
She's not keeping it, is she?
But what other options does she have?
No.
No. No way.
Abortion?
Oh, yuck! I don't even want to think about it.
A lot of times already, the majority of the European Parliament has spoken out that it is terrible that those rights are being diminished in a member state like Poland. But in the end, it's not in legislation in Europe. So it's not a European law that this is a right of every person in the European Union. And that is at the moment what we're trying to achieve. We are now trying to achieve that the right for people to have safe and legal abortion is enshrined in European legislation.
I don't want to sound cynical, but we need to see the actions, not only the declarations.
Everyone already seems to have made up their minds what I should or shouldn't do in case I end up pregnant or would consider abortion. People constantly talk and decide about me instead of with me. Opinions, prejudice, estimates, nonsensical images. Whatever I decide, I get all of kind of accusations, stupid slut, murder. I have to make impossible choices. Has anyone ever asked the question what I personally want? And at least I can make that choice when it comes to abortion. How awful it must be if you live in a country where as a woman you don't even have that right in the first place, where others really decide for you, regardless of whether you were raped or the pregnancy is a mistake. The choice to decide about my body is a human right.
The choice to abortion is also a human right, and not the right of judge, priest, or politicians. It's not right for others to interfere.
I would like to ask you first of how to be a good ally and how to support sexual reproductive rights, in your opinion.
I think actually this whole question is also part of the larger question of equal rights and safe lives for everyone. What we try to do when we work with men who want to be an ally is to make them look at what is your circle of influence. So in the microsystem, you can make differences in many ways in your organization, in your community, with your friends, and also in the institutions where you work. I don't think there is one simple answer to be a good ally. What I think is important for men who want to be an ally is to learn to listen, and then listen again, and not want to start acting and speaking too soon.
We mentioned 1 in 4, sometimes 1 in 3 women in their life goes through abortion. If you think that you don't know anybody that had abortion, then maybe you're not open enough for people to express that to you. You can support abortion by donating to many abortion organizations that are there, that are set up to help people who cannot afford it to have safe abortion. There's a number of ways you can do.
Maybe it's utopia. What do you call it? Something what's not really real. Yeah. I really want that women are so free as a man, just in every decisions they make. And it's only possible if we talk about where it's not going so well. And people think about it. There's some parts of life of women where it's not so easy. Yeah. And you have to believe in women. We are just human beings, we're not things.